was coming back at you. And man, I got this very disturbing video, man, courtesy of KHOU 11 that first reported this. It's in regards to the Williamson County deputies. If y'all are not familiar with that, that's the county where the city of Austin is located. So, young domestic violence victim thrown to ground, handcuffed in video. Things quickly escalated after deputies were called to an apartment complex where a suspected domestic violence incident was unfolding. Let's check it out. Oh, you got to be kidding me. They gonna hit me with an ad?
K1 Speed is back open in Dallas.
We don't care about that.
This time, a woman reported to be a domestic violence victim, sparking more concern about the department. This particular incident, caught on body camera video, comes to light as outside officials launch the latest investigation into the actions of Williamson County deputies. Here's senior reporter Tony Plahetsky.
I need to see victim. I need to see if she needs EMS. Where's she at?
You're watching body camera video as Williamson County Sheriff's deputies respond to an emergency call from neighbors about a possible case of domestic violence in a nearby apartment. Rookie Deputy Amanda Pereira, just 3 months out of the academy, is the first to make contact with the suspected victim the evening of September 21st, 2019.
So what happened?
Nothing.
Yes. And make sure you're okay.
I'm fine, ma'am.
So
I'm fine. Like literally, I'm fine.
Okay.
The 20-year-old woman immediately expresses hesitation.
I do not want to talk to you, and especially Williamson County. Y'all have a really bad reputation. I have bad encounters with y'all. I do not want
I'm not gonna hurt you.
I know you aren't.
For the next 3 minutes, the deputy and alleged victim have a calm conversation.
So what?
We got into an argument.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
And the woman insists that her boyfriend is gone.
So he left?
He left.
You don't know which way he went?
I don't know, and if I did, I wouldn't tell you.
Deputy Pereira instructs the woman to go back inside while she consults with other deputies on their way. Up until now, everything has remained calm.
I got her name and date of birth. She doesn't want to be cooperative. I see some marks on her neck that might be fresh.
Then Deputy Lorenzo Hernandez, a department training officer, arrives.
My sister, no, I really don't. You really don't. What the are you doing? What the? This is distracting. What the?
Deputy Hernandez, this vantage point from his body cam, grabs the woman and takes her to the ground. Again, she is a suspected domestic violence victim. Over the next 30 seconds, what had been a stable scene only moments earlier erupts into a frantic, chaotic encounter as a third deputy, David Dickerson, arrives. The 3 deputies handcuff the woman and eventually take her to the ground.
We're just trying to talk to you and make sure you're okay.
You're hurting me, though. You're hurting me more than
Over the past several weeks, we've been in touch with that young woman's family. They say she doesn't want to talk publicly about what happened that night. But experts say what is so striking about what we see in these videos is that she had not been accused of a crime and was not physically resisting. And advocates for domestic violence survivors point out that while the deputies were sent to help her, they may have only traumatized her more.
Okay, quit talking.
Please let me get up, please.
Quit talking.
You're hurting.
Quit talking. Shut your mouth and quit talking, okay?
The 20-year-old woman remained handcuffed for several minutes as deputies Hernandez and Dickerson, with their guns drawn, searched what turned out to be an empty apartment.
Get in there, make yourself known.
Then they finally take the woman back inside and unlatch her handcuffs.
When we come to stuff like this, we're going to check for safety reasons, okay?
Hernandez began lecturing the
I
woman.
understand you don't want to cooperate. We can't force you to do that. We get that. We understand that. But you don't do what you just did. Not when we show up for something like this. We don't get your cooperation. That is what happens.
Yes.
Okay? All this screaming, all this does not make us stop. Okay?
You're re-victimizing the victim.
We showed the videos to one of the nation's leading law enforcement experts. Timothy Williams helped the Los Angeles Police Department develop domestic violence policies and procedures.
What you saw was wrong. That's not the training you receive. That is just the opposite of de-escalation. That's escalation.
An internal affairs investigation agreed. This week, Williamson County Sheriff's officials confirmed that they looked into the matter at the time and suspended Deputy Hernandez for a day because, quote, his failure to properly de-escalate the incident is unacceptable. Sheriff's officials also required him to be retrained and removed him from being a training officer. But 2 months later, they promoted him to detective.
My first thought was, if this survivor needs help again, would she feel safe calling?
Nikita Ved, legal services director for the nonprofit Safe Austin, said domestic violence survivors often need police to help calm them.
What a survivor does not need is more power and control being asserted over them.
Hernandez joined the Williamson County Sheriff's Office in September 2017 as part of a new group of deputies hired under Sheriff Robert Chody. He previously worked the Bastrop County Sheriff, who suspended Hernandez for 12 hours without pay months earlier after he left his gun at a Wingstop restaurant. Since then, he was featured on the show Live PD, and 3 months before the encounter with the woman, was involved in a controversial use of force in the arrest of Ramsey Mitchell, which remains under investigation.
We don't get your cooperation, that is what happens.
Yes.
Okay?
But nearly a year after that night, we have learned that the Texas Rangers and Williamson County prosecutors have opened an investigation into what happened and are reviewing it as a possible case of excessive force. Sheriff's officials say they welcome the investigation.
We have a job to do. Whether you understand it in the moment, I don't care.
That night, 17 minutes after they first got to the apartment, deputies ended the encounter with this domestic violence victim.
All right, Tony, should those deputies, this was the question I had, should those deputies have gone into the home without her permission in this case?
Well, Brian, that's a very interesting legal question that we took to legal experts. Of course, we all know that generally when law enforcement enters someone's home, they have to have a search warrant, unless they believe that there is an imminent threat to the public, as the deputies appear to in this case. But one of the things that law enforcement experts pointed out time and time again was not the fact that they went in the house, it's how they went about this whole encounter, Brian.
And the deputies in this case, could they face any charges stemming from this incident?
Well, Brian, as we mentioned, there is an ongoing investigation at this point by the Texas Rangers and Williamson County prosecutors. We don't yet know a timeline for that investigation, when it may wrap, or even if these deputies could face any criminal charges or what those charges may be.
Senior reporter Tony Plahetsky for us tonight. Tony, thank you very much for that.
Man, and as you see, you know, that clearly was an example. That clearly was an example, man, of excessive force. You know, there's no way around it if you ask me. You know, there's no way around it if you ask me. That did not even make any sense. You know, that did not make any sense whatsoever. You know, that was a victim, and that victim was definitely traumatized. You know, that officer was way out of bounds for that. But, hey, don't forget to drop your comments down below, man. You know, let me think if you think that officer was out of bounds, or you think what he was done, or do you think he acted appropriately? So don't forget to leave your comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next episode. Shalom.